Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here and joining us for the question and answer session for Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School. We're so happy to welcome you all and welcome you for the new start of the new school year. With so much going on, I know that there's so many questions and not as many answers. And so we're hoping to host this session now just to give you a little bit of insight to any questions that you might have throughout this process as we're going through this, as well as getting started for the new school year next year as you join us. And so just to introduce you to a few of the members that are with us today, just helping and supporting and answering all the questions that you have myself. I am Dory Mara Marquez. I'm the Director of Admissions at Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School, as well as a graduate from Notre Dame in the class of 2009. So I know a lot of information about NDCR in regards to this process, as I've helped you throughout this process as well in joining the NDCR family. With us today, we also have Sister Mary Alice Gilfeather, who is our president at Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School, as well as Dr. Anthony Zavanine, who is our principal. So just in a little bit, shortly after some additional information from admissions, you'll get an opportunity to speak with them, and they're also here to answer any questions you have. And so also with us today, we have Courtney Chow and Corey Perez. Courtney, who is a senior at NDCR, and Corey, who is a junior. They're with us today just to answer any questions you might have directed from students in regards to their academics, to any programs at the school, to how they're transitioning from being in school to the online learning, anything that you have in regards to really get to know more of an aspect or perspective from the student. So that's just who we're here today, here to support you and answer all your questions. And thank you again so much for being here. So we're going to jump right into really who we are and why we're so thankful to have you here today. You'll see that throughout this presentation, there is information printed out in English, as well as the same information provided to you in Spanish. After this session as well, it'll be recorded and emailed to you so that you have something to look back on, as well to anyone who maybe signed up but didn't have the chance to come into the session. So this will be here for you to look on after today. So Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School is really built on giving an opportunity to young men and women from limited income families and making sure that they're receiving an excellent education that really many of our families didn't have the opportunity to afford. And so with being able to do this is with our corporate work study program that provides so much and so many benefits to our school and what really makes our school so unique. So really knowing our mission and why we started this school is so important to really understand who we are as a school. And really, I think in many reasons, one of those things that you might see highlighted in front of you is also one of the many reasons you might have chosen to come to Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School, whether it's preparing our students for college, where we have 100% of our students have been accepted into college, including our current class of 2020, 100% have been already accepted into college or universities, to the corporate work study program, where our students are going to work and earning more than half of their own tuition for the school, and really providing it to the students and families of our communities. So that's what we're here to do. When you're looking at Notre Dame, some of the updates that we have going into Notre Dame, especially with everything going on and how there's so many questions, and we want to be able to give you all the answers that we have. And even though that's really difficult to do right now, we still want to be able to know that, to let you know, especially that we are here for you and that we're answering any questions. For admissions, currently the building is closed, NDCR is closed, but admissions office as well as the other offices at the school is available to all of our students and our families, including all of you. So we are able to answer any phone calls, even if you're calling the office. We do answer the voicemails as well, even from home. I even have a Google number that will be available to you in the next slide as well as the last slide. So you can even call me directly from home, to even the email, which is also read and answered throughout the day, and emails are answered within 24 hours. So we are here for you. If there are any changes coming up with the admissions office or just in general with the school, we will let you know. Considering with all the changes happening, we will be able to answer all of your questions and keep you in the loop via email. It's a little difficult to do mailings. We'll usually do if we do mailings, we'll do it within a week to be able to do it all at once since the building is closed to make sure that everybody is safe. As well as doing phone calls. So please be mindful as you're going through this process and making sure to stay up to date, that you are receiving our emails, that you are looking at our emails, that you are listening to voicemails, just to stay up to date and that you know everything that's going on. As directed by the state, we are and have canceled all events held at the school. So considering our next upcoming event is a new student orientation that's on May 27th. That's our new next upcoming event. There will likely be many changes to this since the school is closed and has been asked to stay closed for the rest of the school year. It means that we will need to be creative in how we do this, which will mean that we will need to contact many families to see what is the best way to ensure that you're going to get this information, whether that be we host a virtual session like this one, or be able to do something else, talk through the phone, whatever it is that we can do, we want to ensure that we're going to make sure you get that information, whatever that may be. At this point, I'd like to let you know, as I didn't say at first, if you happen to have any questions whatsoever and you're on a laptop or you're on a cell phone and you have any questions, please feel free to write in the chat and we can answer some questions through there. We even have a button where you can even raise your hand and just let us know that you have a question, and we can give you an opportunity to ask that question and we can answer it for you. So if at any point in time you do happen to have a question, either type it up or we can ask it during the question and answer session so that way we can make sure to answer any questions you have. So Notre Dame Cristo Rey High School, as you know, with getting the calendar of important dates and everything coming up, that also includes the corporate work study orientation, as well as the Summer Bridge program and our Summer Training Institute, that are two programs that are held in the summer, and our corporate work study program orientation that is held in June. For this program, for CWSP orientation, we'll likely plan our orientations together to make it easier and where everyone gets the information all at one time. And then for the Summer and Bridge program, I know we've stated this before, just making sure that you are planning and that you're planning ahead as best as you can. So that way you are available to attend these programs if you were needed to attend a Summer Bridge program or the Summer Training program. If you if you are not sure if you need to join the Summer Bridge program, please feel free to give me a call or send an email along. We will be happy to let you know. Considering how so much has changed and there are still so many questions that we don't have answers for, we are making plans to ensure that everything will be in line as the time is moving forward, whether that be we host classes online as best we can, getting to know what situation you have at home with technology, or even offering it for the fall. And so these are all things we're looking to try and plan considering everything going on. So just know that we do have plans that we are structuring and to have in place to secure your opportunity in joining Notre Dame and making sure that you're getting everything you need to feel confident when you start. If there are any additional questions that you have in regards to dates, or what are those important dates, or that calendar that was sent in with the acceptance package and you lost it, or maybe there's more information that you're looking for, know that we do have a website available to you where there is a calendar and there's a page dedicated to anyone who was accepted. So it'll say welcome class of 2024, and on there you'll see some updates, some information, some links. So that way you can still have all that information even after today and have something to jump off of if you had any questions about that. And then of course, you're more than welcome to record the number that you see down below. That is a Google number that is directly linked to my cell phone, so that if you have any questions, you feel free to call at any point and we'd be happy to answer them. to even the admissions email that we have that can, if you prefer to write anything via email, we can answer from there. If at any point you have any questions and you want to either raise your hand by clicking that button to raise your hand and say you want to jump in to ask a question, or if you would like to jump into the chat and write a question, we can even go from there and answer it there. So if at any point you do, just feel free. Now what I'd like to do is pass it off to Dr. Z just to talk a little bit about some updates within the school, and we can go from there.
Yes, hi everybody. This is Dr. Z, the principal here at Notre Dame Cristo Rey. It's my 4th year as principal here. I just wanted to say to you as 8th graders too that you're going through a transition from 8th grade to high school, and it's a transition where you're doing it online. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I know you're missing out on your 8th grade trips and some special events at your school. And for me and for us here at Notre Dame Cristo Rey, that just means we're going to do an even bigger job, better job of making sure you're welcome here. All right, that this is going to be a big transition back to school, and we're ready for it, to welcome you in the fall. I really look forward to this class. It's one of the things that I'm very hopeful for, is looking forward to the day we're back in school and you're with us. So I just wanted to start off by saying that I am very proud to say that all of our students have laptops. We invested in this years ago, about 2 years ago, and how great they paid off, this year. We wanted to have them so students could take them home to do work, but now all of our work is at home. And so when we moved to online learning, we didn't miss a day. We left on a Friday from our building, and we started on Monday online learning, which was really amazing, I thought. And so we're continuing our classes online. We are continuing to do fun things as well. We do things like a Netflix watch party. We're doing a TikTok contest. And it's fun, but it's also to maintain our community. We just had a Spirit Week recently, right before vacation, that we're just trying to continue that great community that we built here. But basically, we're going at it just like we would be here in the building, but all of our classes have moved online. This is the new reality which we're all dealing with. And I'm really glad to say I'm very proud of our teachers and our students that our transition has been very smooth. I'm also very proud to say that we've kept our contact with all of our families, particularly through our guidance counselors, that students are even still seeing their counselors. They're still having sessions. We're still planning on college admittance now. We've got everybody accepted from the class of 2020. Now the next part is to enroll in college, so we're working on that. So we're still celebrating these wonderful things and still navigating this new reality. So that's a bit of an update from the desk of the principal. I was going to hand it over to Sister Mary Alice to say a few things.
Hold on. Welcome, everyone. Sorry, did not have my microphone on. These are interesting times, and Notre Dame Cristo Rey is we are trying our best to make sure that everyone continues to feel loved and cared for in our Notre Dame Cristo Rey family. There may be some questions that some of you have regarding our move to Presentation of Mary Academy. Yes, we still are going to be moving over there. Hopefully in July or possibly the beginning of August. We're currently in the process of going over there. We have people that are doing something what they call a due diligence. So they're making sure that everything will be ready for us to move in. So that is happening. Your development office at Notre Dame Cristo Rey is busily raising funds so we can purchase the property. And as I think about the property, I think about all the wonderful things that our students for so many years have asked us if we could provide for them. And because of the limited space in our current location, we just have not been able to do that. We are going to be able to do that next year. We're looking at increasing our sports program to include volleyball and soccer. We do have 2 fields now at our disposal. We have a beautiful gym, beautiful gym. So there's lots of positive things that we're looking at for next year. We're still working on some of the major logistics. As you know, Presentation of Mary is about 1.5 miles away from Notre Dame Cristo Rey, where we're currently located. So we are looking at the possibility of doing some transportation if people find it difficult to get from Lawrence up to the presentation site. So those are some of the things that I'm working on, and continuing to pray for all of our students, those who are going off to college, our senior class, and for those of you who are coming on as our incoming freshman class. We're very excited to have you join our family, and I can promise you it will be an exciting year once we all can get back to school. Thank you, Dory.
Thank you, Sister Mary Alice. And of course, in welcoming, in addition to our families and incoming freshmen, to also welcome any transfer students as well that are just as part of this transition as all of us. So thank you. If I could have our student ambassadors who are with us today, Courtney and Corey, just share a little bit about themselves. We know Courtney, who's a senior, and Corey, who's a junior. Maybe if you could, Courtney, start and just introducing where you work and what you do at your job and any programs that you're a part of at school.
Yep, so I'll start a video. Hi. So my name is Courtney Chow. I'm a senior, class of 2020, and I currently work at Raytheon. I work at the Raytheon in Tewksbury, but I used to work at the Raytheon in Andover. It's been a while, so but what I do at Raytheon is I work in the RHS department, which stands for Rapid Hardware Solutions, and basically what I do is that I work, so some days I work in the lab while, you know, working with the 3D printing parts and making my own. I actually have some of my 3D printed parts this time. So I made this cup, and I also made like coasters, and I also help clean out parts. On other days, I might look at some schematics and drawings and blueprints and basically do some puzzles and try to figure out like, oh, how many supplies can be fit into like this vehicle or something. And right now I'm currently working on, well, I was working on a PowerPoint explaining about the tasks that I did this year with 3D printing. So that's what I've been doing.
Thank you, Courtney. Could you share anything else about some of the programs that you're a part of at school?
So at school, I'm part of a lot of programs. So one of the first clubs I joined was Anime Club, and during this quarantine thing, we started watching anime every other Friday, and we'd watch like a movie together and afterwards discuss. Other clubs that I'm in student council, so that's really cool. I'm in National Honor Society, student ambassadors. I'm also in yearbook. Right now it's kind of hectic because we missed out on so many events. So right now we're trying to like figure out like what pages are we gonna do and what clubs are we going to include. And I'm also in art club, so pretty fun.
Great, thank you, Courtney. Corey, if you could jump in.
Hello, so I'm Corey. I'm a process ambassador and a junior. I work at MITRE in Bedford, and there I do research for them. I 3D print. I help out with the collaborative meetings that we do. I've hosted some meetings. I'm like an assistant to them, and we have a lab where I help out there, and yeah, like I said, I help out with the meetings, and I'll host the meetings. At Notre Dame, I am in student ambassador and National Honor Society. National Honor Society, we do like leadership. Oh my gosh, I'm going blank right now.
It's okay, Corey. You do community service
Oh,
as
yeah,
well.
community service. That's what it was, community service. And that's like our main thing in National Honor Society and Student Ambassador. We help the incoming freshmen, and we're role models for the school. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey. Thank you so much to you both, Courtney and Corey, for being here and sharing some insight to the school and being a student at NDCR. So I'd like to jump into some questions. I see we have one in our chat that is from Faith Santos. Faith asked the question, will we be doing the 2 weeks in the summer? So these 2 weeks, I'm assuming, are either for both Summer Bridge and also for Summer Training Institute. So because the way things are going right now, not really knowing where we're going to be at the time for these or either of these programs is really not sure where we're going to be. But the assumption is if there isn't going to, and I'm just trying to make sure I can, if you can see me, is to either provide it virtually as we're doing this session right now, making sure that it's still available to all of our families, whether we do a session like this and we mail out the packages that include all of the paperwork, everything from information on uniforms, how to possibly get uniforms during this time, to even filling out paperwork for students that are going to be part of our corporate work study program, which would be everyone, to summer training, figuring out how we could do and make sure that students are going to be academically prepared and confident when starting school, where we're providing a college preparatory education, and just making sure that students have everything they need. So there is the question if we are still going to be able to physically in person do those programs in the summer. However, if we don't, we're going to figure out ways, whether it's virtually, whether we wait for the new school year to start and be able to catch everyone up that way. Either way, that is a plan that we are planning, whether it's one or the other. And when we do have any updates, just keep in mind also that I will continue to keep you updated via emails. We'll be doing phone calls. If we're changing any major dates, we're also going to update that on the website, or even doing our best to mail out this information as well so that you have it in person. Just whatever is going to be easier to make sure that you're aware of all that information too. Thank you, Faith, for that question. I hope that that answers it. I know it's a little broad, so we don't know for sure. Right now, Notre Dame is closed, and we're closed going off the guidelines of the state, assuming that it's all the same for the governor, who has stated for public and private schools to close. If there are any updates for state guidelines and changes, those are what we are going to follow. So just keep that in mind as you're keeping that in mind for yourself in school, and whatever goes on for your current school likely is why we're also closed and staying with those guidelines as well. So whatever we are told is what we are likely going to do. And of any changes that happens from there, we will stay in contact with you to make sure that you know what's happening from our end as well. Does anyone have any other questions that we can answer? Again, thank you, Faith, for that question. Okay. If no one has any questions, just note that I am available, as well as myself or any student ambassadors, to Dr. Z, our principal, or Sister Mary Alice, to answer any questions you might have. Of course, if you can see down below on the screen, that is my direct line. I'm working from home, so I'm still able to answer all of your calls. I'm still able to answer your messages. I'm still able to answer all of your emails. So please take note of that phone number if you would like to reach out to us. We take information from there, and even the admissions email if you have any questions from there that you would like to reach out, if it's not today or tomorrow, anytime. We have another question from Jaden Reyes. What sports are you going to be having next year? Thank you, Jaden, for your question. the current sports that we have this year are basketball for boys and girls, baseball, softball, cross country, and cheerleading. As Sister Mary Alice was saying earlier, this year we have started volleyball as a club to start and gain interest in it, and has been going well. That is something we would like to begin as a sport following next year, as well as soccer. So those are two additions that we know we can start for the following year, especially with having the space. Thank you, Jaden, for that question. I hope that that helps. Any other questions? Remember, you have myself, Dr. Z, Sister Mary Alice here, Courtney, and Corey. Now, I don't want to force anyone to ask any questions, although please note that information down below so you can reach out to me, Dori Marquez, Director of Admissions, so that I can help in anything that you have for questions. And we are here. Please keep in mind to reach out to look at your emails, listen to your voicemails. If you see they're from Notre Dame, please keep that in mind so that you are up to date with everything that's going on and if there are any changes that we might have. Okay, would anyone, Dr. Z, Sister Mary Alice, would either of you like to say just a last thing before we end this session?
Just to say thank you, everyone. You know, and just to hang in there as you finish off your 8th grade year, or if you're a transfer student, your current school year. You know, we really are a family here, and not being together has really put that in perspective of how much of a school community Notre Dame Cristo Rey really is. And so I really look forward to meeting you in person or seeing you in person very soon. I wish you and your families health and best wishes.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Z. Very well said, and I wholeheartedly agree. All right. Thank you again. Please take note of that number, the email address, if you have any questions for the admissions office, or even to Dr. Z or Sister Mary Alice, or even if you want any perspectives from our student ambassadors, please feel free to give me a call or send an email. Be happy to answer anything that you have. Thank you for Faith and Jaden to asking those 2 questions that I'm sure other students here and parents as well have questions, have the same questions. So thank you for asking them. And for everyone else, wishing you all the best in health and thinking of your families during this time, and wishing you all a big thanks for joining us for today. So that's the end of our session. Thank you to Dr. Z, Sister Mary Alice, Corey, and Courtney for joining us and answering any questions and introducing themselves and sharing some information about the school, and all of those who have joined us to learn all this information and to know that we are here for you and we are in this together. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Dory.